Now I have parts here to replace whatever the hell is going on up under this vehicle. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and open this. This is what they gave me to replace what's going on. And do you see what I see? Nice new beautiful part coming out of this box right meow. And in the box is a new Y pipe. I don't know if it's designed exactly the same as the previous one that's actually on the vehicle. That may be manufactured not specifically correct. But I can highly give a company credit for replacing parts that are broken in a short amount of time of actually having it received and put on the vehicle. Always speaking honestly, I don't like Z1 Motorsports because of how many horror stories I've heard of people buying parts and then they leave you up the creek without any kind of a paddle or anything. I've heard of a rear differential cover that in a magazine looks beautiful but only lasted 150 miles, and they did not refund or replace that customer for the crack that came right in the center of it. They said that it wasn't installed correctly, which it's a rear differential cover. It's pretty darn easy to put that on. I don't think there's a way that you can put a rear differential cover on and have it crack the way that it did, unless that rear diff was manufactured incorrectly, in which may not have the right tolerances to the heat and cooling. So in short, I do not like Z1 Motorsports, and already just by Flashark Racing going through the trouble of replacing the part at no extra cost to me, the customer, or shipping cost for that matter, I can definitely at that point try to say that I respect Flashark Racing a lot more than Z1 Motorsports. Alright, and now that I am down here on the floor getting ready to replace the Y pipe that is broken, let me show you that Y pipe here in a second, but of course, she literally just came over and just sat on me before I could even get up under the car, so Pepper, you gotta get down. We get down, please? Pepper. Pepper. I need you to get down. Get off me. Alright, so this is the Y pipe, and again, that's where it is split. So I'm actually going to take this Y pipe down, and then I'm going to go ahead and weld that to the best of my ability. The welder that I have is not made for this type of steel. So this is going to be an interesting and very slow process trying to get that welded back together. But you got to do what you got to do sometimes when you're on a budget, and see if it's even possible. So here is the old Flashark Y pipe for the 350Z here. Here's my area of concern. Okay, for one, this is where it actually cracked, and just because of how tight the tolerance is between how the full exhaust is built back and there's not a lot of swing play in it. This was just holding on because of how it's actually made with the inside right there. So if those lips weren't on the inside of there and where this is at, then it would have actually fell apart by now. So I'm happy it didn't fall apart. That's for sure. I think that the weld here is a bit on the thin side. See, I mean, if you're, you know, a welder of some sort and you see this, let me know what you think of these welds. Because I think it should have been just a little bit bigger of an area and a little bit thicker. And I think this would have made it, if you can kind of tell with the metal in there and everything. But that's what I have right there, okay? Now the other part that concerns me, if you didn't already see it and you were paying attention from before, is that this right here actually widened out. Because these two pipes used to touch and that used to be a rattle issue. Now that this is worn in and falling apart in areas, okay, are these, I don't know if this is stretched out or not. It seems like it's stretched. It doesn't seem the same as right there. I don't know if you can tell the difference or not, but it just looks like it's just a little bit, maybe this one's longer now. It just doesn't look exactly the same. Now coming around and looking at this new one here that just came in the mail, excuse you, Pepper. Here we come with this pipe that may or may not be touching because it has that teardrop kind of effect in the center there. Again, great support, and I think they said that they were going to a warehouse to try and replace what was broken before, right there. But they also mentioned that they were going to make changes to how the process of how they were making these. So when she sends this one out, I'm thinking in my head, maybe this is still technically the old unchanged version of this one. So this is just another pipe like this without the actual whatever changes they have made in the process. I feel like this is the old version, not the new version. Because that snapped right there, that put the weight of the exhaust heavily on this side, which would be the passenger side. And because of that, I believe that it put too much stress on the white pipe, and so I have a little bit of work to do to go ahead and get the other pipe down now and free of the O2 sensor. And I'll go ahead and try and do my best to weld that up, put that back up there. Are you coming to help? Pepper, are you gonna come help me? You can't even look at me, can you? Ugh. I think this gives a better view of what exactly I think is the manufacturing issue right here, okay? The old pipe obviously is more bronze than the new one, and if you can tell, the new one is a lot more, it seems thin. Okay, so you have the issue with this being too inward. So when this is all molded, it has that but it has that reverse teardrop, okay, that we originally had with the original pipe. So you have that issue that may rattle or not, but these two pipes here seem like they need to be brought out more, which puts too much stress on the actual flex pipes beyond what they want to actually, you know, work on a normal to flex. And that's where the destruction of my Y pipe came from, because if you can see, I mean, you can tell like the old pipe has been heat cycled quite a few times now, you know what I mean? But yet it's relaxed out a lot more. That has a gap right in there that you can clearly see a lot more than that right there coming up. You have like no gap there. Okay? But that has a clear gap, and that's further away. And this is all wider for the new one, or for the old one, but then you have this new one that is just a little bit too thin. So I think it's putting too much stress trying to keep it that way. And I don't know if you can tell, but it kind of looks kind of crooked. You know what I mean? Like it's not like flush. So this one's kind of that way, but that one's kind of like that way. I don't know if you can kind of see that or not. The old pipe looks a lot closer to being flat. As I look over top of that, you can kind of see that's almost like flush. So where the flex pipes on these old ones here should be able to take out that problem there. But then you have these that are too inward. You have that issue down here at the pinch right here, and it seems like they're just crushing together a little bit too much. So that's where I think I have the old version of this pipe and not the improvised one, and I do believe that is the issue, is being able to pretty much just draw that out a little bit more when they're actually doing the whole manufacturing thing. But I don't know. I'm not on that side of the table, so it may not be the same thing. It could be something totally different. So just wanted to update you guys, let you know what is going on and what's probably going to happen. So here we go again. And after welding and grinding and welding and grinding, this is the semi-final result with how this turned out, which I pretty well until you look at that, but overall it's all there. It's been tested for any kind of little leaks in between here, so good to go. So after a full night of grinding and welding and grinding and welding, probably back and forth about eight or nine times, just trying to find little pinholes and trying to fill it in and grind it down so it didn't look like complete crap, and just doing that process over and over and over. How does it sound now? Well, so overall, this is not doing too bad at all, especially on a budget. It is slightly hitting the body just a little bit for the one that I welded on this side, but overall it is a ton quieter and something that I can actually daily drive now. Again, the Y pipe, I will show you exactly what I did, and I put To explain it, I put a nut and a bolt with a washer on top and on bottom, and I squished it together in between the Y pipe to actually get it to split apart. That seemed to be enough to relax it to where it's not pulling so hard on the test pipes, and everything seems to be working quite well. I still have some miles to put down on this and some heat cycles to let go through the exhaust and everything. So as always, I will keep you guys updated. I super appreciate all the likes, comments, views, everything. I appreciate everybody, and thank you for watching. Until the next time, guys, have a great day.